Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review of the Ramper Mexican-made boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review of the Ramper Mexican-made boxing gloves. Got mine in this beautiful white, gold, and black colorway. 14 ounces in lace-up. You can also get this model in Velcro, anywhere between 8 to 18 ounces, with multiple different colorways that you can choose from that you can check out on the Ramper website. Of course, I will put that link down below in the description box. It's made of full, genuine cowhide leather throughout the entire exterior of the glove, with a very soft and silky polyester satin liner on the inside of the hand compartment, and latex foam padding over the knuckles that is soft in firmness. So this is, to me, your contemporary Mexican style puncher's glove. So for those of you that prefer softer padding, that really want to feel your knuckles pierce through the padding and get that pop and that feedback that you're looking for from a Mexican style glove, then this is the type of glove you'll definitely be happy with. Now, for those of you that are looking for something a little bit more protective, a little bit more shock absorbent, maybe you have a pre-existing injury, you have sore knuckles, then this will be probably a glove you might shy away from. Or if you do end up getting this, you might want to supplement your hand wraps with like a gel knuckle guard, something to give yourself a little bit extra support and protection while you use these gloves. Now, before I do the review, I did want to give you guys a quick backstory on how I acquired these gloves. I want to give a big shout out to my good buddy Louis. And if you guys have seen, I did a review on this brand called El Primer Asalto. It was a Mexican-made glove I did a review on a couple of months ago. And it was a brand that was, the manufacturer, should I say the artisan who makes those gloves, is a friend of Louis, because Louis lives in Mexico. And Louis was visiting Arizona. I met up with Louis. We had a good chat. We sat down for a while and just kind of talked about life and whatnot. And he brought those gloves for me. So big thank you for that, Louis, again. But Louis lives in Mexico, and Ramper, if you do go to the website, everything is in Spanish, so there is a language barrier. If you're not fluent in Spanish, you'll have to use like Google Translate to translate it over. I did reach out to them initially through Instagram, through direct message. That from there, they said, hey, let's use WhatsApp, because that's how our main line of communication is. So I did find out that they do take payment and they can ship to the United States, but it was a little bit kind of convoluted on how the process worked. Like bank wire and just giving them payment. It was just a little bit, I wouldn't say sketchy, because I would not say that about them. I would just say it was just kind of difficult. So it kind of popped in my head to ask Louis. I was like, well, if Louis lives down there, maybe I can just pay Louis to get the gloves for me, since he's in Mexico, so it would be considered a local shipment. So Louis was nice enough to get these gloves for me, and then I paid him and he shipped them directly to me. So big shout out to Louis. And that's how I acquired these gloves. But to answer your question on how you get these, yes, you can order them. Yes, they ship to the United States, but there's going to be a little bit of a language barrier, and then also you have to be okay with the way they accept payment. So do keep that in mind. I did reach out to them through Instagram. They do have a website and email, so there's multiple ways that you can reach out to Ramper, but that's how I ended up doing it. But I did want to put that out there before I did the review. Now, from a design standpoint, I think that Ramper did an amazing job, in my opinion, with the aesthetics of this glove. And the reason I say that is that this glove really doesn't look like anything else out there on the market. And there's tons of gloves, right? There's tons of gloves, there's tons of brands, there's tons of designs. But just, the logo looks awesome. I also like how they stitch further back on the back side of the glove with the thumb seam, with the thumb stitching seam. Most of the time, gloves will have the thumb kind of come down and be exactly right where the wrist is at. They kind of pulled it in more, so it has kind of like this wavy look to it. And I think that looks awesome. And what that also does is, when you're looking at it directly from that angle, like you see here on the video, you can see the contrast in color between the gold and the white. So I definitely love how they did that. I think they did a great job with their logo, the Ramper. You have basically two R's, one's reverse with a crown at the very top. The leather on here, this white leather, I'd say is kind of a satin finish. The logo itself has more of a matte finish. It does say made in Mexico in white right here, written against that seam. You do have the R in matte on the thumb. You do have a white leather attached thumb right there. On the back of the wrist, you do have their cloth logo, made in Mexico, Ramper, at the very bottom. No sharp edges, and it is a dual bump wrist closure. So you have basically two a single padding, but basically segmented off where they stitched it across. So you have a larger one up top and a little bit of a smaller one at the bottom. You do have the R with the 14-ounce weight tag right here stitched at the bottom piping, white piping at the bottom. I'd say that you have about 1.5 inches of medium density padding on the back of the wrist and about 1 inch of medium density foam padding on the inside of the wrist as well. Really nice long flat laces with plastic tips. The thing I like about these laces as well is that they use like a cotton polyester blend lace. So it's not your standard cotton laces that feel really cheap and that get snagged on Velcro. These do a nicer job of cinching up when you lace them up. But if you throw these in your gym bag, they also tend not to get snagged onto Velcro like a standard cotton lace does. So I do definitely prefer these type of laces. On the outside, or should I say, I guess your pinky side of the glove, you have Ramper written vertically on the gold. And again, I think they did a great job of the contrast between colors. So you have all white, you have some gold right here on this outside foam padding, and then you have gold on the thumb. So it's, to me, just enough contrast between two colors. You don't have like this traditional split palm that a lot of companies do, or a split thumb like a lot of companies do. And I think they did a really good job of kind of giving themselves their own look that's very identifiable as a Ramper product. So I definitely love the way that they did that. I just think it looks really sharp. I think they do an awesome job with a lot of their colorways as well. So when you get a chance, check out their website, because I had a really hard time picking the color I wanted because there's so many awesome colors. There's this all black with red that kind of reminds me of like Darth Maul from Star Wars. Just a ton of different colors they have on their website. And you'll see what I mean. If you check out their website, you'll see and be like, damn, there's a lot of good colors here. So they've done a really good job in terms of like the aesthetics. Ventilated holes on the inner part of the thumb, right above the grip bar as well as below it. The grip bar on here, I would say, is a little bit on the more flatter side, but it is very firm for the grip bar. So overall, a very nice looking glove. Design is very unique with this glove. Quality wise, I'd say the gloves are solid. My biggest issue is going to be the stitching in certain areas, like right here at the bottom. You can see kind of the stitching was kind of crooked on the piping. Hopefully I can capture that in the video. Weight is actually a good thing, all things considered, especially when it comes to Mexican gloves. They're typically overweight, usually by 1 ounce or 2. These happen to be, I believe the left glove was 13.8 and the right glove was 13.6 ounces, and these are advertised as 14. So they're actually a little bit underweight, which is good. I mean, you're not ridiculously overweight. You're pretty much on point with weight. You're off by a little bit, but not by much, especially when you're using this as a training glove. But I'd say that the stitching is probably the area that I would see the most concern, especially like even on the palm side, like this right glove, you'll notice that the stitching that's right above the piping right here is a little bit higher up compared to the left glove. So you can see, again, just the symmetry in the way they stitch. You'll also notice on the left glove here, they didn't, right here on the back padding, when they were stitching, they kind of stopped. They stopped the stitching right there. On this glove, you'll notice that it goes all the way to the top. So in terms of being symmetrical and even, you'll see this glove doesn't go all the way to the top, but this glove does in terms of the stitching. So I'd say that the stitching is the kind of the big area with this glove. I mean, it's not something that's extremely worrisome, but you know, if you're going to compare it and nitpick compared to some other Mexican gloves I've seen, I'd say it's a little bit of a tier lower in terms of the stitching quality with these gloves. Definitely could be improved. But the leather on here is really nice. It has a very nice supple, thick feel to the leather. It definitely has that really strong Mexican leather scent to it. The overall colors are vibrant with this gold. It's not really like a metallic gold. It's more of a standard, kind of like a subdued gold, but it looks really good as well. You know, the glove, I'd say, is mildly top heavy. It's not super top heavy, but there is a little bit of a bend to it, with the padding being a little bit more front heavy with the glove. Not a huge deal, but you can definitely tell that the glove does have a little bit of flex to it. But again, I'd say my biggest takeaway is going to be the stitching with this glove. Comfort-wise, when you put these gloves on, the first thing you notice is the liner is really comfortable. It's super silky, really comfortable. Liner kind of reminds me of the more premium, you know, brands like Bayonetta. Reminds me of Boxeo TM Torres Medina, that has that really nice, soft, silky liner. So I love the way the liner feels. The other thing is I love that these gloves are soft and broken in right when you get them. And the more you use them, they'll break in even more than that. So they're really nice and soft and broken in and comfortable. The depth of the finger compartment is perfect, and so is the width. It's not too wide, it's not too narrow. They do a pretty good job of putting like a piece of neoprene over the stitching on the finger compartment, so it doesn't feel uncomfortable, like your finger is rubbing on the stitching that's abrasive. I say the one issue I found with this glove is going to be the thumb is slightly awkward. It has kind of a flared out thumb, and the piping at the bottom can be a little bit tight. For me, particularly on my left hand, because my left thumb is a little bit fatter at the base than my right, so I feel it more. But the thumb is definitely a little bit flared out. I wish that the thumb was pulled in more and a little bit more parallel. And this glove, in terms of comfort, would have been perfect. But because it kind of flares out, you can feel that piping kind of dig in at the base of your thumb, and just kind of the position of it. When you make a fist, you can see that it kind of pulled down on the tip of the thumb, so it makes it a little bit shallow, and you can definitely feel like when you land your shot, the tip of your thumb kind of jams in there. So again, it would have been nice if the thumb was pulled in and more parallel and deeper, so that your thumb didn't jam at the tip of the compartment. Grip bar feels really good. You can feel that grip bar when you make when you make a fist, so it feels really good on the inside there, and wrist support feels good as well. So big takeaway is everything feels good about these, minus the thumb. Protection and performance, like I mentioned before, this is a puncher's glove. The padding on here is very, very soft. You know, like when I push down on it right here with my fingers, it takes relatively no effort for me to be able to push down. Now, that's not to say that this is like a horsehair glove, because this is purely a latex foam style glove. But I mean, when you land a shot, it just flattens out real nice, and you can definitely feel your knuckles pierce through, and you're landing on those two front knuckles. So for those of you that like that sensation, that like that type of glove, then this will definitely be right up your wheelhouse. But you will be sacrificing some protection, some shock absorption, especially if you're using this for the bags. More of the densely heavy filled bags. If your gym has like a nozzle or a prolapse bag, some of the more, you know, harder, stiffer, heavy bags, you'll definitely feel it with this when you're landing your shot. So it's really subjective. Everybody's different. Some people have hand injuries, have had hand injuries, have broken their hands, have issues with their knuckles. So it's just something to keep in mind, but these are definitely, to me, more of a puncher style glove. Cost-wise, these gloves are 1,250 Mexican pesos. That's right, pesos. I know you guys are like, oh my God, 1,250. No, that's pesos. So 1,250 pesos, which you convert it, currently, it's about $62. So $62 US dollars. Obviously, depending on where you live, wherever you're watching this from, convert it to whatever currency you use, and you'll find out. But for us here in the States, 62 US dollars, to me, is a great deal. Regardless, regardless of all the opportunities this glove has, it's still a great price for a Mexican-made, full genuine leather glove, puncher style. For those of you that like it, I love the design. I love the way the gloves look. Now, keep in mind, there's obviously going to be a cost for shipping. So, when you're looking at it all said and done, you're probably looking at around 100 plus or minus for this glove shipped to you wherever you're located. And even then, at $100, even if it was like 120, 130, I still think that would be a fair price, considering everything else is so inflated right now. For the price point of these, I think it's a solid deal. So overall, a very interesting glove. I think the design is really nice. It would be awesome if they corrected all the little small details with this glove, and I think it would be an even more popular under the radar glove that not many people know about, that I feel should get more attention, in my opinion, just based on everything they have here with this particular glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know where to put them. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Ramper Mexican-made boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Peace.